Hey everybody, what is going on? This is JamillaTheKilla and I'm back with a Dark Souls 2. My Let's Play is episode 2. As you can see, things are a little different. I have decided to switch classes from the warrior to a cleric. The main reason for that is because in Dark Souls 1 I beat it 3 times, each of them with the warrior, pure melee class, and don't get me wrong, cleric is melee as well, but I wanted to try something a little different, so we're going to do clerics. Let me smash this here really quick and pick this item up, which is Soul of a Lost Undead and a torch. So that's pretty cool. So what the torch is if you sit at the bonfire, you don't sit at it, I'm stupid, don't listen to me. You can, where it says toggle, you can light the torch, and it starts your countdown. As you see on the 5, it says 458, 457, 456, 455, things like that. It counts down. And you can light these, which isn't really that big of a deal. But yeah, let's get rid of that. So, let's get into this. I wanted to kind of talk about what this Let's Play is going to be about. I'm kind of aiming this more towards people that haven't played Dark Souls before. Or maybe they have and they weren't very good at the first one, they had troubles with it, and they're just still learning the game. I'm going to try to give as many tips as I can, but I'm not a pro, so don't expect that. Biggest tip I can tell you is in combat, rolling and dodging is going to be your best friend. If you see I'm using this mace, that's what the cleric starts with some different items. He has a sacred chime, which is only really useful for casting spells. Like I have a heal spell, which if I pull the mace, you have to have this out, so you can do that and go heal yourself up. And then he starts with a mace. And as you see, there's a red X there. It's because my strength is not high enough to effectively use this weapon. So I got a strength as my first upgrade when I get to that point. So that's what that is. Just kind of tells you that you don't have the strength or dexterity to use it effectively. I think it's strength. Yeah, it's my strength is a 1 shy of being able to use it properly. So as you can see down there, the red 12, that's what I need to have, and as you see on the right side there, mine is at an 11. So once I get it to that, it'll be a lot better of a weapon, and it is a very good weapon to carry you through a lot of the game. I'm probably about halfway through the game on my main account. I'm just kind of testing things out and seeing what's working for me, and that's where I decided to use the cleric, because cleric is seeming pretty good so far. For like newer players and someone that would like to have high defenses and high sustainability and being able to tank some hits, cleric is definitely good, just mainly because you get the heal spells, which is always great in case you run out of life gems. That's never fun. And the heal spells are like the Estus flasks. When you rest at a bonfire, they will replenish themselves, which is cool. So we're just kind of moving through. This is the tutorial level of the game. This isn't anything too bad. I did die in here my first couple tries when I first picked up the game, because I was getting quite rusty, and that you don't want to happen. You want to kind of lure this guy out, because the archers can kind of get you, and that's not good. Alright. Let's move up. Oh, that's alright. Bam! Let's roll towards him. Oh, ninja. I'm not very good at backstabbing. You can backstab in this game, just like the first one, which does a lot of damage. It's kind of like a critical hit. I'm not very good, so don't expect to see many backstabs from me, unfortunately. Got a life gem here, which is pretty good, and I'll try to point out some helpful items, things like that for you guys too, once we get to that point. This just tells you that. I didn't actually know about this my first time through. I didn't know you could kick the ladder down, but yeah. And these guys here, you can hear them saying that they want smooth and they want silky and things like that. I think they're the same people from the first game, that you can trade with them. You can drop items for them. Oh, my guy's pretty sweet. You can drop items in the nest and they will trade for those. I don't know which items in particular. I know there's a smooth silky stone you can get in the game, which they'll trade. But other than that, I'm not too sure. So yeah, I know I'm just kind of rambling about the game. I'm not really talking about the gameplay. So let's try to change that around. Hope you guys will learn something from this. Again, I'm not the best at this game. It is a very hard game, and I almost just ran right off that cliff. So you come over here and you knock this down. I'm gonna have to roll once I'm done here and try to bust out my heal spell. I'm gonna come out here and heal first, because I ain't trying to die. I don't want to become undead. I want my sweet hair and mustache to be perfect. Bam! This guy. I tell you what. Bam! Oh, not dead yet. Okay. Then you gotta jump down this hole, and yeah. So leave a comment if you guys are playing Dark Souls, and let me know if you're having troubles with it or not, or if you're liking the game. I got an arrow in my face. That's not. Can he hit me from here? He can. That's not good. I can climb the ladder really fast. We're just gonna use a life gem because I don't trust myself this early on, not having good equipment and things like that. So get the heavy hit and then 2 small hits, and that's good. This mace, like I said, is fantastic once you upgrade it. I think I've got it to +3, and it's been carrying me through a good bit of the game so far. So that's something I'd recommend for you guys is to keep the mace with you. And just upgrade it whenever you get the chance to +3, maybe +4. I did not go +4 yet. I decided to upgrade some armor, which I'll point out to you guys where that's at when I get there. Yeah, I'm loving this game. I like it a lot. I love the first one. The first one was really tough, and this one is proving to be almost as difficult. So I'm sure it's going to get more difficult as we go through the game. But yeah, so now we're moving on to out of the tutorial level. This was all basically tutorials. I did not show you guys the bosses. They're not really a boss. Excuse me. It's like this rhino hippo thing. There's 3 of them, I think. There's one single one outside the witch's house that we talked to. I don't know if they're the fire weavers. And there's 2 that you just saw probably a little bit ago that I didn't even mess with because they suck. I've died to them plenty of times. And now we're in Majula, which is fantastic. It's the main town of the game where you can level up and do things like that. As you come over here, there's an item, which is a divine blessing. So we're going to go over here and light the bonfire. Now we're going to talk to this weird lady that lets you level up. Next to her, she also gives you the Estus flask, which is very useful because that respawns every time you go to the bonfire as well. So we light the bonfire, and once we sit down, as you see our heals at 1, it'll go to 3. Which is good, and it also repairs your weapons, what's it called? Durability, I guess? There's the red bar under the weapon that deteriorates after time of using it, so... Yeah, let's let her talk.
Bearer of the curse.
I'll drink some water.
I will remain by your side, till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease.
Oh, and then she gives us the Estus flask, which is fantastic.
Go on and see the
I want us
king.
to go see the king.
He who made Drangleic
Let's check
what
out
it
my guy's
once
sweet
was.
stash.
He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the Estus flask in the rotation here. And we got to talk to her a few more times to get to the level up area.
For misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid. Seek those whose names are unutterable. The 4 endowed with immense.
Now she's kind of pointing out that there are 4
Their souls will serve
kind of
as
4 main
beacons.
bosses, kind of like the first game. There was
Once you have found them,
the Souls of
return
Lords
here
that you had to
me,
get. There was a Nito.
so that hope will not fade
Seethe
away.
the Scale. I think Seethe might have been a side boss. I don't recall exactly if he had a soul you had to get. But there was a
Bearer
Nito,
of the curse.
the Witch of Izalith.
Seek souls.
4 Kings
Larger,
was
more
one, I
powerful
believe. I don't know.
souls.
It's been so long since I played the first one. I remember some of the bosses. I don't remember which ones had the souls that you were mainly looking for.
Lest this
So
land
let's not
swallow
embarrass
whole,
myself any more than
as it
that.
has so many others.
Alright, so now we can level up. We can upgrade the Estus flask. I know in the first game, if you offered humanity to kind of like stoke the fire, if you did it 1 time, you got a couple more Estus flasks, and you can max out at I think 20 if you did it 3 times. You had to offer humanity. Now there's shards hidden throughout the world that you have to find. So there's that, and that'll give you 1 extra one. Each shard that you give her, you get an extra Estus flask. I think on my main one, I think I have like 6 right now. And let's kind of explore this town a little bit. Here is a blacksmith. He can upgrade your weapons and he sells stuff, but he was dumb and locked himself out of his place. But you know, he's a pretty big guy. He could probably just go through that window right there, but it's a little too easy apparently. So we get his key later on. Not right now though, so that's that. If you come over here, you see there's an item. Oh yeah. What's the item? I think it's a life gem. It is a life gem. And earlier when I was talking to you guys, if you guys didn't see the first episode, I know not many people did, there was issues with that. When I was talking about the gifts that you can choose, the reason I told you not to choose Homeward Bone is because they're abundant in this game. Like here's 5 of them right there. And that just lets you transport back to your last bonfire that you visited, so that's pretty good. Saves a lot of time. Not too much in this one since you can fast travel out of the beginning of the game, whereas in the first game you couldn't until about halfway through. Down here, this brings you to a point in the game that we are nowhere near ready for. It's called Hyde's Tower of Flame. I'm just coming down here because there's a shield down here, which is always good to just have some kind of a shield, regardless of what's going on. There are no enemies, so you don't have to worry about just running down here blindly. Right around here on the left, there's a chest hidden inside the wall. Not really hidden, it's just off to the side. And it contains, I forget what kind of shield it is, but it contains a shield, which is cool. And we're not going to go any farther down because it's pointless at this point. Enemies are too tough. There's some old knights and some dark knights. I think they're called dark knights or old knights, one of the two. But they're down there and I cannot fight them yet, although soon I will be able to. So let's pull out the shield. I don't really use shields too much because I usually double hand the mace just because it does so much damage, but I need 500 more souls and then I can upgrade my strength and I can effectively use the mace, which is fantastic. Just kind of explore the town to show you guys there's one other hidden thing in this town that you probably wouldn't see unless... I didn't see it the first time until I didn't download the update or whatever it was, so I couldn't play online. Once I got online and I saw the message, which is this message right here probably, try attacking. So this rock here, if you hit the rock down, it brings up a dead body that has a Estus Flask shard, which will be cool. Don't fall down there, you'll die. We'll go down there at a later date though, it's okay. So that Estus Flask shard is going to give us an extra Estus Flask to use. And I'm not going to talk to that guy because he doesn't really tell you anything at all. He's just a shopkeeper that doesn't have very good armor for the class we're going to be playing. So let's not even mess with that. So there's a Titanite shard. Titanite, if you guys aren't familiar, lets you upgrade your weapons. I know to upgrade my mace to +1, it costs so many souls in a Titanite shard. To upgrade it to +2, it costs 2 Titanite shards, and so on and so on. Eventually it gets into large Titanite shards, and it's yeah. So we're going to come over here and talk to this strange lady. Need some shoes. So she says seek more powerful souls. We're just going to kind of skip through this. If I upgrade the shard, as you saw, we only had 1 Estus Flask. Now we're going to have 2, which is good. I prefer life gems over the Estus Flask, just since you can move while you're using them. Estus Flask, you have to stop and drink it, which, yeah, not fun. So we're going to go. There was a little path there that you saw. We are going to come up here first. I did not go here yet. We came down from over there. That's from the tutorial level. There is a little cave here that leads us to some decently tough enemies from the beginning. It's the first time you see poison in the game, so that's always fun. I'm not going to read any of the messages because they probably just talk about hidden paths and stuff like that. And there's this cool little guy over here who's got a sweet blue sword that I wish I had, but I don't. Probably wouldn't be able to use it. Let's talk to him. And he's just, I don't know what he does. He's just talking about how that door is closed because there's a statue blocking the lever, so quite a pickle. I'm not even going to talk to him anymore. Here we have life gems and more homeward bones. See, like I said, if you would have taken that homeward bone as your starting item, that'd be kind of a waste. Now there's 2 enemies in here. There's this guy, which I'm just going to let him break the door down. And they're kind of freaky looking. He's got some kind of, yeah, I don't know. Come on, buddy. And honestly, with this game, it's all about getting enemies' patterns down. As you see, he's got the single strike, and then he's got the quad strike that he does, where he swings 4 times. That says 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you kind of back up, hit them once, and then you can roll away or just run away, whichever you prefer. There's a single strike. And we're just gonna keep. This is basically what Dark Souls is the same with bosses. Is you're probably gonna die a few times in bosses. Your main goal is just to learn their patterns, basically. And once you get their pattern down, then they become pretty easy. You still have areas for messing up, which is always possible. You can die to anything in this game. That's the only downside. So I hit that, and I'm now almost poisoned. What that meter is, if the red fills all the way up to the right side, you are poisoned, which is not good. And now my poisoning is gone. So we're just gonna hit this guy, and one more hit, and he should be dead. And there's that, and he only gives 90 souls. When I first fought these guys, I got killed by this guy in here, which I think he's weaker than the guy that I just fought. I'm not sure. But we're just gonna hit him, and then we're just gonna run away and lure him outside. Like, the other guy had a weapon, and the weapon did some pretty decent damage. And this guy just kind of has to melee you. So we're just gonna do that. Now, the good thing about the mace is it stuns a lot of the weaker enemies most of the time, which is fantastic. Like this guy, I can just kind of hit him. He doesn't really get a chance to hit me, and I'm okay with that because I don't want to die. I guarantee I'm gonna die a few times in this game for sure in the beginning. Like I said, I'm just trying to help you guys in walkthroughs and things like that to give you a little bit better chance when you first start playing the game. So, excuse me. And this is Eloy's Talisman, which is mainly only used for online play. When someone evades, the Lloyd's Talisman prevents people from using Estus flasks in a certain radius. And yeah, I haven't been invaded yet. Hope I'm not for a while. And yeah, because I'm not very good at PvP. So we're just going to come over here. And we're going to go back to the bonfire, rest up, and then we're going to head to the next area of advancement, which I think is the Forest of Fallen Giants, if I'm not mistaken.